A winter blackout can turn fatal in hours. When the power goes out and temperatures drop below freezing, your home becomes a survival situation. Most people have no backup heat source at all, and those who do often own equipment they cannot safely operate indoors. Here is the reality most ignore. Dollar Tree sells 11 items that can prevent hypothermia, stretch your heat sources, and keep your family alive through a multi-day power outage. These are not gimmicks or internet hacks. They work because they address the actual physics of heat loss from the human body. Combined, they cost less than $18. Separately, each one solves a specific problem that kills people every single winter. This video breaks down exactly what to buy, how to use it, and why each item works when everything else fails. Petroleum jelly. One small jar of petroleum jelly from Dollar Tree might be the most versatile survival item in the entire store. Most people associate it with dry skin or minor cuts, but in a heating emergency, it serves a completely different purpose. Petroleum jelly is essentially solidified fuel waiting to be activated. Combined with cotton balls, petroleum jelly creates fire starters that burn for 3 to 5 minutes each, long enough to ignite damp kindling or reluctant charcoal. A single cotton ball coated in jelly produces a steady, hot flame that resists wind and moisture better than matches alone ever could. 10 treated cotton balls fit inside a small waterproof container and provide enough ignition capability for multiple fires throughout a blackout. Beyond fire starting, petroleum jelly protects exposed skin from wind burn and frostbite by creating a barrier that prevents moisture loss. Your lips, cheeks, and hands lose heat rapidly when skin cracks in cold, dry conditions, and this barrier stops that damage before it starts. Applied thickly to hands and feet before layering socks or gloves, petroleum jelly traps warmth against skin and reduces the evaporative cooling that accelerates heat loss in cold environments. It never expires when stored properly, requires no special handling, and weighs almost nothing. One jar serves multiple survival functions, which makes it worth gold when alternatives disappear. Number 2. Cotton balls. Cotton balls seem entirely unremarkable until you need fire and have nothing reliable to start one. At Dollar Tree, a bag of 100 cotton balls costs about $1.25, and those 100 cotton balls represent 100 potential ignition points during a prolonged blackout. When coated with petroleum jelly, each cotton ball becomes a waterproof, wind-resistant fire starter that burns hot and long enough to catch nearly any fuel. The technique is simple. Pull the cotton ball apart slightly to expose fibers. Work petroleum jelly into the center and throughout the material, then store them in a resealable container. When you need fire, pull fibers loose at one edge to create an ignition point, and a single spark or flame will do the rest. Dry cotton balls also function as emergency tinder when accelerants are unavailable, though they burn faster without the petroleum base. In medical emergencies, cotton balls serve as wound packing, filter material, or padding inside improvised bandages. During power outages, the ability to reliably start fire determines whether candles light, whether improvised heaters function, and whether cooking remains possible. Lighters run out of fuel and matches absorb moisture from humid air, but prepared cotton balls resist both problems. For the cost of a single fast food item, you gain fire-starting capability that lasts through an entire winter season of potential emergencies. Wool blend scarves. Your neck represents one of the highest heat loss zones on your entire body. Blood vessels run close to the surface there, and without insulation, warmth radiates away continuously into cold air. A wool blend scarf from Dollar Tree provides targeted protection for an area most people leave completely exposed indoors. unlike cotton or synthetic blends, will retain insulating properties even when damp. This matters during emergencies because condensation from breath, sweat from exertion, and humidity from cooking all introduce moisture into your clothing. Wool continues functioning regardless. Wrapped correctly, a single scarf covers your neck, can extend to protect your lower face, and even wraps over your head as an additional layer beneath a hat. The same scarf converts to a hand warmer, a wrist wrap to seal gaps between gloves and sleeves, or padding inside a jacket to fill dead air space. Dollar Tree wool blends typically contain enough wool fiber to provide real cold weather performance at a fraction of specialty outdoor gear prices. The key is wearing the scarf constantly during a blackout rather than only when heading outside. Indoor temperatures during prolonged outages drop into ranges where exposed skin loses heat faster than your body generates it, and a scarf prevents the steady drain that leads to hypothermia over hours. That $1.25 could prevent medical disaster. Number 4. Bandanas. A cotton bandana weighs almost nothing, costs $1.25, and performs more survival functions than items 10 times its price. In a winter blackout, the primary use involves protecting your face and warming the air you breathe. Cold air entering your lungs lowers your core temperature from the inside, and a bandana worn over your nose and mouth warms each breath before it reaches your lungs. Beyond respiratory protection, bandanas seal the gap between your collar and your neck, an area where cold air infiltrates layered clothing and escapes with your body heat. Tucked into a jacket collar, a bandana blocks that exchange and keeps warm air trapped against your body. In emergencies, bandanas function as improvised wound dressings, cordage when torn into strips, pot holders for handling hot containers, water pre-filters, and signal flags. A single item cannot replace dedicated gear for any of these purposes, but it provides functional backup when dedicated gear is unavailable. Stored flat, 10 bandanas occupy less space than a single pair of gloves and weigh collectively less than a pound. During a blackout that extends beyond a single night, having clean fabric for multiple purposes prevents the hygiene problems and material shortages that compound survival difficulty. Their versatility makes bandanas essential rather than optional in any budget emergency kit. Knee-high socks. Cold feet are not merely uncomfortable during a winter blackout. They represent a medical pathway toward hypothermia. Your body restricts blood flow to extremities when core temperature drops, and poorly insulated feet accelerate that process by radiating heat into cold floors and still air. Knee-high socks from Dollar Tree provide extended coverage that standard ankle socks cannot match. The length matters because heat escapes from your lower legs as well as your feet. Knee-high socks insulate both areas simultaneously, and wearing them over a base layer of regular socks creates dead air space that dramatically improves warmth retention. This double-layer technique turns inexpensive socks into a functional thermal barrier. During extended blackouts, dry socks become critical because moisture destroys insulating capacity. Knee-high socks work as rotation pairs, allowing wet socks to dry near any available heat source while clean socks maintain foot warmth. Having multiple pairs extends the rotation and prevents the hygiene problems that compound survival stress. In emergencies, knee-high socks also function as improvised mittens when pulled over hands, filtering sleeves for water treatment, and storage pouches for small items that need protection from cold. At $1.25 per pair, acquiring for 2 pairs provides a complete foot warming system with backups and alternatives. That investment protects the extremities most vulnerable to frostbite and cold injury. Baby receiving blankets. Baby receiving blankets might seem like an unusual addition to a heating survival kit, but their design solves specific problems that regular blankets handle poorly. These thin, soft blankets are sized for wrapping, which means they conform to body shapes and tuck into layering systems without adding bulk or restricting movement. During a winter blackout, your head loses heat faster than nearly any other body part. A receiving blanket wraps around your head and neck in ways that heavier blankets cannot, providing continuous coverage without the weight that makes sleep difficult. The same blanket layers beneath hats for additional insulation or wraps over shoulders to seal gaps in jackets. For children, receiving blankets provide exactly the lightweight warmth that small bodies require. Children lose heat faster than adults because their surface area to volume ratio is higher, and they need insulating layers that move with them rather than restricting activity. Receiving blankets weigh almost nothing and layer infinitely. Adults benefit from the same properties during emergencies that last beyond a single night. Lightweight blankets dry faster when damp, pack smaller for storage, and combine into multi-layer systems that trap more heat than single heavy blankets. At Dollar Tree prices, acquiring 6 to 10 receiving blankets provides a flexible installation system that adapts to changing needs throughout a prolonged blackout, without the bulk that makes heavy blankets impractical indoors. Number 7. Dish towels. Dish towels seem mundane until you need fabric and have none available. During a winter blackout, dish towels serve heating functions that their kitchen purpose never suggests. Wrapped around your neck and tucked into your collar, a dish towel provides the same draft-blocking protection as a scarf. The thickness of terry cloth towels traps air against your skin and prevents the convective heat loss that thin fabric allows. Wrapped around exposed pipes, dish towels provide insulation that prevents freezing. Frozen pipes can burst and flood your home, which compounds a heating emergency into a water damage catastrophe. A few towels wrapped around vulnerable pipe sections reduce that risk significantly. Rolled tightly and pressed against door frames, dish towels block drafts that infiltrate your heated space. Even small gaps allow continuous cold air exchange that defeats your heating efforts, and stuffed towels seal those gaps without damaging surfaces. For handling hot items around improvised heating setups, dish towels provide the padding that prevents burns. Candle heaters, heated water containers, and cooking surfaces all require safe handling, and terry cloth absorbs heat and protects hands adequately. The versatility justifies acquiring 10 or more. Dollar Tree dish towels cost almost nothing, store flat indefinitely, and provide material that expensive specialty gear would replace if you had planned further ahead. Their availability makes them easy to overlook and invaluable to possess. Number 8. Craft felt sheets. Craft felt sheets exist at Dollar Tree for children's projects, but their dense fiber structure solves real heating problems during emergencies. Felt insulates because it traps air within compressed fibers, and the trapped air resists heat transfer in both directions. Pressed against windows and taped in place, felt sheets create an insulation layer that reduces radiant heat loss through glass. Windows without felt covering allow warmth to escape rapidly toward cold exterior surfaces, and even a thin felt barrier slows that transfer measurably. Multiple layers increase the effect further. Stuffed into gaps around door frames and window seams, felt blocks the air infiltration that brings cold into your heated space continuously. Unlike fabric that compresses fully, felt maintains some loft when pressed into gaps and continues blocking air exchange. Cut into footpad shapes and placed inside shoes, felt adds insulation beneath your feet where cold floors draw heat downward constantly. Standing or walking on felt rather than direct flooring reduces one of the most persistent heat drains during indoor blackouts. Felt also functions as work padding, hot surface protection, and a cutting surface for other materials. The structural integrity of felt survives uses that destroy paper or thin cloth. At roughly $1 per sheet, acquiring 10 or more provides versatile insulation material that weighs nothing and stores indefinitely. The applications multiply once you understand the physics felt addresses. Number 9. Cardboard and poster board. Cold floors drain body heat relentlessly during winter blackouts. Sitting, sleeping, or standing directly on flooring allows thermal transfer that lowers your core temperature faster than cold air alone. Cardboard and poster board from Dollar Tree create insulation barriers that block this transfer. Flattened cardboard boxes and stiff poster board placed beneath sleeping areas separate your body from cold floor surfaces. The air pockets within corrugated cardboard and the density of poster board both resist heat transfer, which means the warmth your body generates stays with your body rather than flowing into the floor. Taped against windows, cardboard creates an insulating barrier that reduces radiant heat loss through glass. The improvement is noticeable within hours as your heated space holds warmth longer. Poster board serves the same purpose with a cleaner appearance that may matter if blackouts extend beyond expectations. Folded into angular shapes, cardboard creates baffles that redirect heat from candles or lanterns toward occupied areas rather than allowing warmth to disperse in all directions. This technique concentrates available heat where people actually are. Cardboard weighs nothing, costs nothing at Dollar Tree, and provides a structural material for improvised insulation projects. The only requirement is flattening and storing enough material before the blackout begins. What seems like trash becomes essential insulation when temperatures drop and options disappear. It literally costs nothing and saves lives. Aluminum foil from Dollar Tree costs roughly $1 and reflects heat with remarkable efficiency. Most people use foil exclusively for cooking, but in a winter blackout, its reflective surface redirects radiant heat that would otherwise escape into walls and cold air. Placed behind candles or lanterns, foil bounces heat forward into your living space rather than allowing it to disperse in all directions. A simple curved sheet of foil behind a single candle can double the warmth you feel at close range by directing energy that would have warmed the wall toward your body instead. Taped against walls behind any heat source, foil creates a radiant barrier that keeps thermal energy inside the room. The effect compounds over hours as reflected heat accumulates rather than conducting through drywall and insulation into cold exterior spaces. Wrapped around feet over socks, foil reflects body heat back toward your skin and creates a vapor barrier that prevents evaporative cooling. This technique works particularly well for stationary periods when feet would otherwise lose heat continuously to cold floors. For window insulation, foil blocks radiant heat loss through glass more effectively than most fabric barriers. The reflective surface works in both directions, keeping interior warmth inside while blocking cold radiation from entering. A single roll provides enough material for multiple applications throughout your home. The reflective properties that make foil useful in cooking translate directly into thermal management during emergencies when every bit of available heat matters. Hand warmers disposable. Disposable hand warmers at Dollar Tree deliver 6 to 8 hours of consistent heat from a package that fits inside a pocket or glove. The iron powder inside reacts with oxygen once you open the wrapper, and that chemical reaction generates warmth without flame, electricity, or any attention from you. Placed inside gloves, hand warmers keep fingers functional during tasks that require dexterity in cold conditions. Opening packages, operating tools, and handling small objects all require finger mobility that cold destroys and continuous warmth maintains that capability. Positioned inside coat pockets, hand warmers create warming stations where you can rotate cold hands throughout the day without removing outer layers. This technique preserves overall insulation while addressing the extremity cooling that layering alone cannot prevent. Placed inside sleeping bags or beneath blankets, hand warmers provide supplemental heat that extends comfort through cold nights. Core body temperature drops during sleep, and external heat sources reduce the energy your body must spend maintaining warmth. For elderly family members or young children, hand warmers provide targeted warming for individuals most vulnerable to hypothermia. Their small size allows placement exactly where warmth is needed most without the bulk that restricts movement. Acquiring 10 or more packages before winter provides emergency warming capability that activates instantly when needed. The chemical reaction requires no skill, no ignition, and no supervision, which makes hand warmers reliable when other options demand too much effort or present safety concerns. 11 items from Dollar Tree for less than $18 total provides a complete backup heating capability that most households lack entirely. These items work because they address the actual physics of heat loss. They block drafts, create insulating barriers, protect skin from moisture loss, enable fire starting, and concentrate available warmth where people need it most. The families who survive extended winter blackouts are not those with the most expensive gear, but those who understood the problems beforehand and prepared solutions within their budget. Dollar Tree makes that preparation accessible to everyone regardless of income level. Before winter arrives, visit your local Dollar Tree with this list. Purchase these 11 items and store them together in one container that you can access immediately when power fails. That single trip and that small investment could prevent the medical emergencies, the suffering, and the tragedy that cold weather blackouts cause every single year. If this video helped you prepare, hit subscribe and share it with someone who needs this information before they need it desperately. Building your kit now means never wondering whether you have enough when temperatures drop and the lights go out.